Mattie Elizabeth Gail Hammond was a poet, born in 1872 in West Tuckerton, New Jersey, to Sarah and Mitchell Gale in the family farmhouse on Stage Road. Mattie had 5 children, 6 grandchildren, and 9 great-grandchildren. She wrote 60 poems about her family, events, and nature that reflect her thoughts, feelings, and philosophy of life. In 1962, at age 90, Mattie died at her home in Bloomfield, New Jersey, with her youngest son, Harold, and youngest daughter, Pat, by her side. Hello, I'm Bert Clark, the narrator for this radio play titled A Feather, written by Professor Nancy Funk, presented by the Trinity Players and Penn State University, Mount Alto. The play is based on significant events in Mattie's life and includes 20 of her poems with visuals, used and read with permission. Between the scenes, all the scenes in the play take place at one of Mattie's homes in a specific year. The characters are based on her family and friends. 2 of Mattie's poems will be read between each scene. Mattie will read the poems.
Your baby dear. I am a little boy, happy as can be, stretched out, comfortable, as plainly you can see. When it comes to feeding time, I'm right there on the ball. Mommy feeds me every time, and I try to eat it all. When I am full of dinner and then fall asleep, I dream of playing with my toys, especially the woolly sheep. In my garden. The flowers in my garden were beautiful to behold. Blossoms on the Joshua tree were pink as sunset glow. Roses of many colors were lovely there to see. Perfume was around them, as fragrant as could be, to be enjoyed by everyone, even you and me. When the summer is over and snow is on the ground, I'll dream of all the promises nature has in store. When summer comes again, I hope for many more, if they are as beautiful as those we have on hand. I would wish for flowers everywhere in this precious land.
Scene 1, Surprise. The play begins in 1962 at 44 Hawthorne Avenue in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Mattie is sitting in a rocking chair with an Afghan over her lap. She seems to be sleeping. Mattie's 2 daughters and 2 daughter-in-laws are preparing to go shopping. Ethel, Pat, Betty, and Winifred.
Okay, Mom. Harold's wife and I are going shopping.
Mom, do you want anything?
We'll let you be. I've asked the boys to check on her.
I guess we can count on them.
Wouldn't want you to fall out of that chair now, would we?
Oh, goodness gracious. Not at this time. I mean, not with your 90th birthday coming.
Better not say too much, Betty.
Mum's the word.
All right, must get going.
Who has the list of goodies?
I do.
Is it complete, Winifred?
I think so.
We completed it a few minutes ago.
Well then, let's add it.
Do you think she knows about the surprise party?
It's always been hard to keep anything from Mom.
You can say that again.
Goodbye, winter. A little bird told me spring was nearly here. A tulip came up and listened to a hollyhock whisper, I hope that it is so. Without colder weather, the flowers all know when to wake up from their long winter's nap, and trees all begin to send up their sap. March is the month for the maple sugar, for candy and syrup, for pancakes galore, but I like Caro each Sunday morn. Cherry blossom time. I'll sing to you of happy days, now spring is here again. The old canal where waters flow, the yellow blossoms sway. The artist sat upon the bank, the bridge above the draw. Come with me to Branch Brook Park, the cherry blooms to see. Cars galore, and people more than shells down by the sea. The girl up by the wayside with brush and palette in hand, painting scenes of cherry blossoms and valley from where she stands. a glorious sight to remember when snow is on the ground. Oh, come with me to Branch Brook, with blossoms all around, before the tiny petals all flutter to the ground, and leaves grow on the branches and stay there until fall. Now is the time to remember them, the most beautiful of all.
Scene 2, Marriage. The year is 1889. We are at Mattie's childhood home on Stage Road in West Tuckerton. Kitchen table and linoleum cloth, covered with flowers, plates, cups, covered dishes, and so on to celebrate a marriage. Also in the room is a wooden stove, cabinets for dishes, a few worn chairs, all clean and tidy, but definitely well used. 2 women are arranging the table, trying to make whatever they have work attractive.
When Mattie and Mitch come in, won't they be surprised?
You'll do a nice job, Delma, decorating.
The best I can, with what I have to work with.
No money?
No money and no time.
The wildflowers serve a colorful display.
I figured Mattie would like those.
Blue is her favorite color.
Bluebells she liked and used to pick when a girl.
But why so sudden?
What do you mean?
Well, if we'd had more time, we'd...
Mitch courted Mattie for years, but Mattie wouldn't get her pa to give permission.
Whatever.
Let's look at it this way. Where else would he get a mule?
A mule?
A slave, a worker who worked from sunrise to sunset, and for no money.
A farm is hard to keep, needs much work.
And that is why Mattie quit school at 9th grade. Said she had to get up at 5, milk cows, slop pigs, gather eggs. Why, by the time for school, Mattie was plumb tuckered out. Then she had to walk 5 miles to the nearest school.
That one-room place that we all attended?
That place where you had to feed the pot-belled stove or freeze.
Them was hard days.
So, at 17, Mattie said she wanted to work with Mitch and herself.
Isn't Mitch older?
Just as a man should be, 19.
And then Mr. Gale gave his permission?
After Mitch promised dowry.
Of what? He's got no money.
No, but he promised to replace Mattie for the farm. On the farm, do her work plus more.
Can't blame those 2 kids, wanting a place of their own, since they've been together for years. Met in school, didn't they?
Yeah, she sat in front of Mitch. He used to dip her pigtails in the inkwells.
I bet she'd yell.
Told the teacher.
Who was your teacher back then?
Mr. Now let me think.
Was it Mr. Nepper?
Yep, that was his name.
He was also mine. When I had him, I liked him. He was nice.
As nice as could be. He was particularly nice to us girls.
And Mattie?
She was his pet, for sure. He liked her the best. And why not? She was pretty with long brown hair, them blue eyes, and she was nice. Everyone liked Mattie.
Even today. Just look out there at all them guests.
The whole neighborhood came to Mattie and Mitch's wedding to wish him luck.
Pastor Sechrist did such a fine job marrying him. I did enjoy his sermon about loyalty and friendship in a marriage. Most made me cry.
Now, Bertha, you always was so emotional.
And you ain't, Thelma.
I just love Mattie to death. She was always my best friend ever since grade school.
You know, I once had a crush on Mitchell.
Mitchell L. Hammond? One I dreamt I'd marry him.
And then along came Mattie.
Yeah, how could I compete with her?
She sure wears nice dresses.
Makes them herself, even her wedding dress.
I thought as much.
I had to help her. Her ma and pa didn't even have any money left over from the harvest to buy any material for Mattie's dress. So I just helped her to my aunt's leftovers from her wedding.
And it worked.
Mattie worked wonders with a needle and thread, piecing them old materials together to fit her.
Yeah, she sure looks radiant, just like 'em in the Sears and Roebuck catalog.
With bluebells in her hair.
Here they come, Mr. and Mrs. Mitchell L. Hammond.
Our Pet. I had a little donkey and named her Queen Bess. When she leaves the stable, it is always in a mess. She strews the hay here and there, then upsets the feed. I don't know what she thinks about doing such a deed. Everyone loves her and makes of her a pet. I don't know how to change her from making such a mess. Gives us thoughts to think about and leave the rest to Bess. She threw back her ears and loudly she did bray, just as though she was telling me she would have her way. That was enough. I could stand no more. I just have to let her eat her hay and feed right off the floor. Hello, baby. I'm a little girl. My dress is so pink. I use long-distance telephone until I run out of thinks. I say hello to everyone and get an answer back. And now I say hello to you. Hello, hello, dear Pat.
Scene 3, Sacrifice. The year is 1914. Mattie 40 and Mitchell 44 are living at 3421 Merle Avenue in Camden with their 5 children. There's a kitchen table with a white tablecloth, along with flowers, plates, cutlery, and glasses for supper. Ethel is at the cook stove, stirring a huge pot of stew or soup to feed 7. Leonard is bringing in an armload of cut wood for the cook stove. Leroy is reading the newspaper and sitting on a kitchen chair. Pat and Harold are studying the funny papers and reclining on the kitchen rug near the cook stove.
Leonard, get some more wood for the stove. The soup will get cold. I need 2 big pieces. And don't forget to shut the door.
1, 2, buckle my shoe.
3, 4, shut the door.
5, 6, pick up sticks.
7, 8, lay them straight.
9, 10, the big fat hen.
Hey, what's going on?
We's just reading about the Gumps. Boy, is they funny.
I like Mutt and Jeff. They're funnier than them Gumps.
Is not.
Is too.
Harold, Pat, that's enough. Get up and set the table.
It says here that the war is going to last for years.
Let me see.
My history teacher said as much. She's worried about her husband because he might have to go.
Yes, Pat, I don't know why we have to have war. Those Europeans mean nothing to us. They're over there and we're here.
Ethel, you know what Pop said before he went. We are all each other's brothers.
And Pop knows right.
And Pastor Sechrist preached on that last Sunday.
So what? An archduke or whatever was killed. I just don't understand. All those young men going overseas. And for what?
Pop said to save our brothers. Them in France, England, and other European countries are just as important as us in God's eyes.
It all began with George M. Cohen.
Who's he?
Only the richest guy in NYC.
Why?
He has many hits on Broadway, making money.
Don't forget his popular song about going over there. Over there, over there, the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming over there. So beware, say a prayer, 'cause the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, and they won't be back till it's over there.
Leonard, I don't see how you can sing when Mom and Bert are not home yet.
When's Mom's train to arrive?
7:30.
Hope it's on time.
So do I, 'cause I'm ready to eat.
We'll wait for Mom. You can wait.
I wonder what is keeping Bert. He should have been here with Mom by now.
It sure was nice of Bert to fetch Mom. I could have done it, but the overtime was offered.
Sure, Leroy. That extra money will help now that we have the hospital bill to pay.
Don't worry about the bills. I can get overtime also down at the mill.
I am glad that Mom didn't have to walk home from the train station in the dark.
Mom can take care of herself.
I agree with Harold. Mom seems strong. Look how she took the news about Pop.
It's his fault that he had pneumonia.
Oh, don't say that.
Pat, he did not have to help the war effort.
Pop only went because he was too old to enlist.
Sometimes I have to agree with Ethel. Pop could have thought of his family.
Again, Pop's thoughts on brothers.
Knock? Answer it, Leonard. Bert and Mom wouldn't knock.
It's Pastor Sechrist.
For Lord's sake, invite him in.
Come in, Pastor, and warm by the stove.
We're waiting for Mom and Bert for supper. Bert went to the train station to pick up Mom.
That's why I'm here.
What do you mean, Pastor?
It seems there's been a change in your father's condition.
He was getting better.
Mom was told by the hospital to fetch him.
Bert went to the train station to drive them back home.
Your father did go home to be with his father.
You mean he died?
Your mother telegraphed me and asked that I come here to comfort you. She said your father went peacefully. She thought it best that you hear the situation from me.
We told Pop not to go to New York City.
We begged him not to go, to stay here.
But he wouldn't listen.
Oh, Leonard, he wanted to help the war effort.
They told him he was too old, but he wouldn't listen. Just thought his brother enlisted. He thought he should.
Your father was patriotic. He was a good citizen.
So he worked for the military making guns.
Until he got sick.
But he wouldn't stop.
Pneumonia hit him hard, but Mom wrote that he was getting better.
That's why we were waiting for him for supper.
You must be strong for your mother. She's been through so much and taking it hard. She even asked me why God did this. Her faith has been challenged. She feels that God has let her and Mitch down, despite their years of devotion.
Our mother wouldn't think that.
Not our mother, who sent us to Sunday school every week.
Now, children, your mother's reaction is typical of disappointment when we are expecting something better. God does put us to the test.
But to take our father.
Yes, Pat, it's hard for us to believe.
Pop was only 42.
What is age when God calls?
I don't care. I'm like Mom. I want to curse God for taking Pop.
God gives and he takes away. Think of the many good years you had with your father. Remember those and be glad that you have that memory.
Where's our Mom now?
She said she'll accompany the body home in the morning.
And Bert? Where could he be?
I saw Bert waiting at the train station. I told him what had happened. He said that would help your mother. He took the next train to NYC to be with her.
Oh, he'll comfort her. At least she's not alone in that big city.
Well, no use waiting any longer to eat. Can we please eat? I'm starved.
Pastor, have you eaten?
No, not yet.
Then won't you join us? We have plenty.
No more lessons. This term of school at last is over, and children are home to stay. Some are in the neighbor's pool, and some at the YMCA. So the summer has started now. Cars go rushing by. Children all are on the run, looking for a likely place to have a little fun. Please stay out of the street, I say, and take your pleasure slow. If a car should hit you, we all would miss you so. We haven't many children now and wish that we had more, so be careful when you're bathing, dear ones, down at the Jersey shore. On the boards. If I had a little boy and took him to the shore, I would put some money in his hand, then let him have some more, so he could have a jolly time doing all the games, winning himself a rifle and walking with a cane, riding cars and Ferris wheels, and so very glad he came. Then sorry when summer is gone and school begins again.
Scene 4, checking on. We return to 1962 to the Bloomfield home. Mattie is still asleep. Her son-in-laws, Walter and Bert, tiptoeing into the dining room.
Must be quiet. Don't want to wake Mattie.
Gal said to check on her. We promised.
I'm sure Mattie's okay.
With what she's been through, I do admire her strength.
As strong as a lion.
A lioness.
Yeah, a lioness.
A regular female lion. I've been meaning to ask you, if I'm not too bold,
You're my brother-in-law. In this family, we never had any secrets.
Why you and your wife never had any children? I mean, like me and Ethel.
Pat and I always said it was our duty to help her mom, as she was getting old and had given us so much.
Mattie always was such a given person. Look how she took care of me and Ethel, just when we needed help.
She had it so hard right after Pop died.
That woman never pitied herself, took it all in stride.
It sure must have been tough with no husband, raising all of us kids and no money.
But Mom went straight to work at the dime store.
Wouldn't let Pat quit school to help out.
A true believer in an education.
And in keeping the family together.
The tree in the garden. Said the leaves to the bark on the tree where they grew, "If you are so wise, what do you see?" The bark replied in some surprise, "I stick to the tree where I grew. I don't fall on the ground like you do for people to rake in the fall. They don't complain of work I make, nor bother with me at all." The storm. If I could write a poem about Neptune's mighty hand that brushed all those houses from along the shifting sands, New Jersey surely had it. People in despair, looking for what they lost, can't find things anywhere. The mighty waves came rolling in from ocean wild and wide. The wind so high from the sky with terror filled the air. People rushed for safety and slept most anywhere. Thanks for thoughtful folks who use their helping hands to help the needy ones in this, our precious land.
Scene 5, fire. In 1930, a fire severely damaged Mattie's home at 3814 Westfield Avenue in Camden, New Jersey. You can see the smoldering furniture in the background. Characters with blankets around their nightclothes are sitting on the curb, stools, chairs, or anything retrieved from the house.
Leroy said he thinks it started in the basement.
But it went so quickly.
Guess I should have been more careful with my jigsaw.
You were always in such a hurry to finish a project.
How did I know the sparks would fly in the sawdust?
Did you have to keep them in a basket?
I wanted to use the sawdust for another project.
And just what would that be?
No, you just want to get your name in the paper again.
Guys, don't fight. This is the time we must pull together. Besides, it's too late to place blame.
What's Harold talking about?
Well, it was July 17th, wasn't it? When that burglar tried to rob us?
Sure was, Pat. 8 years ago.
And Leonard shot him right in the stomach.
I told the Philadelphia Inquirer guy that if they found the .22 caliber steel-nosed bullet in him, then I did the job.
And they quoted him exactly.
But Leonard refused to make a positive identification down at the police headquarters.
Afraid he'd come after me.
But you didn't have a worry, because they arrested him.
And then what happened to the burglar?
They found out he was a part of a gang that stole their homes.
Oh yeah, in Abington, Chestnut Hill.
Camden police made sure he went to prison forever.
I was surprised that Mom took it so seriously.
She didn't like the shooting.
But she took a pistol to bed with her.
To this very day. To be safe.
Yes, it's a shame to have this happen now during the Depression.
All this trouble.
But all is not lost.
Well, it's easy for you to say. My wedding dress certainly is gone. Probably not burned, but water-soaked.
Well, you weren't trying to wear it again, were you?
Just like a man, not a bit sentimental, and you too.
But our pictures.
We can replace them.
How?
I still have the negatives in a safe place.
Where?
At work.
Why at work?
I was going to surprise you with enlargement for our anniversary.
Oh, you always are so considerate.
He sure is. But what are we going to do now? All our belongings are either gone or filled with smoke and water, and I'm cold.
I worry about who's going to tell Mom.
Yeah, she worked 2 jobs after Pop died in order to keep the house.
Pay off the mortgage.
But we all paid her rent.
Oh, she just wanted to keep the family together.
Remember, this is the Depression.
Who can forget, Leonard? That is why we all live here.
Saves money.
Which reminds me, I hope our rations are not destroyed.
With the fire in the basement, they shouldn't be.
Oh, yesterday I got the quota for butter and meat.
That's all we need. Soggy bologna.
Silly, we still have Spam.
As an accountant, I say that the entire U.S. is hurting. I've had beans for breakfast, beans for dinner, and...
Beans for everything. Beans for supper.
Oh, would you boys be quiet? We should be serious now.
But beans keep the farmers happy.
With Burton in the bakery business, he helps keep the farmers happy too.
Well, how?
Bakers buy their wheat.
Oh, this time the government has to do all it can.
Or we'd starve.
Not Mom. She'd survive as in the other catastrophes.
So, who is going to tell her when she comes home?
When does she get off work?
Well, you should know when the baby arrives.
And when is that, Pat?
You men. Leroy, who knows when a baby is ready to be born?
It just is when the time comes.
She went from work at the dime store to the Gray's house.
Mrs. Gray was in labor pains?
Oh, who knows? But Mom said she was going to check in on her anyways.
You know, Mom, as a midwife, she wanted to be at the birth to help.
But I shudder when she sees what's left of her house.
I'll try to explain what happened to her.
Be gentle, Leroy. You know how Mom can be.
Perhaps if we tell her about the insurance.
Meaning what?
I can try to work up some numbers that the insurance will cover.
Sure, we can rebuild.
I'm handy with my tools.
This time, be careful.
We must be keeping together.
Mom wants that.
We should be grateful that everyone got out safely, at least.
It's not as bad as we thought. Only the basement was damaged.
Oh, but our possessions, the children's clothes, toys, Mom's things. Oh.
Now, Ethel, it's not as bad as all that. We are a family. We stick together.
For better or worse.
You sound like a preacher.
Well, I guess we should be thankful to God that no one was hurt.
That we all got out quickly.
And that the fire department came as quick as they could.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so emotional. We do have our children.
Mom wouldn't cry.
Not over this.
She'd just roll up her sleeves and get to work.
Cleaning up all that mess. Why, I've admired that woman every day that we've lived here.
Yep, Mom would just say, about time we needed to clean this house. Get rid of all this unnecessary stuff.
The strength that woman has.
Bert, I didn't realize you'd come from the bakery.
I just finished at the bakery when I heard the fire sirens, so I followed their lead. Besides, I thought you all could use some breakfast.
I forgot you're a volunteer fireman.
Bert, as long as you are here, I want you to try to access the damage for the insurance reason.
Sure, I've been looking around inside. It seems safe now to tread inside.
Just lead the way.
You know, I feel better.
Good.
They were just possessions, weren't they?
Sure, they can be replaced.
And you can forgive me.
I don't think Pat said that.
Oh, never mind. I'll guess we all inherit the same forgiveness that Mom has.
Bless that lady. She sure was challenged by God.
Oh, God doesn't give us a challenge without his help.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
November. The maple leaves have turned to gold. The air is all glow, like sunshine on a summer day. We know it now is fall. Enjoy it while it lingers, the most precious time of all. When winter winds blow so cold and snow lays on the ground, we long for spring to then appear, and rain comes falling down to feed the grass and flowers and make the buds on trees appear. And then we know that spring is really here. Summertime comes at last. Vacation time is here. Everyone is on the go, or coming home, you see, tired, tanned, and happy after sand and sun and sea have done their work on me. Sister, I will write you down a little poem about this very day the sun came out and surely chased the rain away. The sparkle of the raindrops on all the leaves I see are like a lovely diamond shining there for me. But if I should just touch one, it would fade away. I wonder why the precious things never here do stay.
Scene 6, fishing. We return to the Bloomfield home in 1962. Mattie is asleep in her rocking chair. Two great-grandsons, young Bert and Glenn, enter with fishing gear.
Look, Great-Grandma, look at how many fish Bert and I caught.
Shh, be quiet. Can't you see Great-Grandma's asleeping?
But she'd want to see the count.
It's best not to disturb her. Not just yet.
I'm sorry she's too old to take us to the shore.
Yeah, it sure was fun back then.
Grandma let us run along the shore.
To our favorite fishing spot.
Mom was too scared that we'd get hurt.
Yeah, thought we'd drown or something, I guess.
But Great-Grandma was watching us.
She was always watching us, always protecting us.
But she didn't keep us from having our fun.
Said she'd raised 3 boys. She said she knew how to do it.
Knew how boys could have fun.
Hey, do you remember when we found that feather? It was from a blue jay, I think.
And gave it to her.
Said it was the best present she'd ever received.
Said she'd put it in her Bible.
To remember us.
Hey, I think we're talking too loud.
Yeah, we don't want to wake her up.
Let's leave. She seems okay.
This day to my son, Leonard Hammond, November 9, 1960. This day has come at last, my son, and you have labored long. I hope in years that come to you, your life begins anew, and care will pass you by. The bluebird song will then be yours, with blessings from on high. A feather. Great-grandson brought a feather from a blue jay wing today. I don't know why the bird threw that one away. Maybe just as a token gift to a little boy who on a lovely summer day doesn't play with toys, but tries his skill as casting to catch a great big fish. We hope one day he catches one, for that is his dearest wish.
Scene 7, Bobby. In 1944, Mattie, age 71, lives at 2238 Scoville Avenue, Pennsauken, New Jersey. A dining room table with remnants of breakfast. Leonard is sitting with a glass of alcohol and holding his head in his hands. He moans.
Leroy, what's all the commotion? I heard the doorbell and then all this hollering. Leroy, a person can't even find peace around here. I don't want you to wake Mom.
Sorry.
For pity's sakes, what's wrong? I asked you a question. Answer me.
Bobby's missing.
Well, of course he is. He's not around here. He's in the Navy.
No, I mean this telegram. He says he's missing.
What happened?
As well as they can tell, there was a hurricane.
A hurricane? In the Bahamas?
They don't say, but that's what we assume. That's the destination for the SSS, Warrington, when it left New York.
And Bobby?
As well as they tell, Bobby did obey orders. He got off the ship and was in a life raft. It was overcrowded when they spotted another sailor in the sea. Bobby threw him a line, but it didn't reach. So Bobby got out of the raft.
Well, why did you do that?
To take the line to the sailor.
Oh, that boy. Just like him. Always taking the hard way out.
Well, Bobby could swim, couldn't he?
Why, he could have been an Olympic star. with all the time he spent in the water at the Jersey shore.
He did reach the other guy, but
But?
something happened. It was dark, I guess, and he was pulled under. At least that's what they think. I don't have much detail.
Oh, our Bobby. Why, he was strong like an ox.
They lost track of Bobby.
And the other sailor?
He was pulled to safety on the raft.
He was saved.
But Bobby, they couldn't see him. They called his name. By morning, he couldn't be found.
Oh, and you think by drinking you can save Bobby? You can drown this trouble about Bobby in drink?
Why not? It's my fault.
You blame yourself.
Yeah. Remember, Bobby said the ship was not seaworthy. He was familiar with that ship from port to stern.
Oh, yes. Jack and Janice tried to keep him off it.
They tried to get Bobby so drunk that he missed a train to NYC.
And go AWOL.
Well, it might have saved his life if he'd not been on that tug.
Oh, your son and my daughter meant well. But this is wartime.
And all is needed to serve. Uncle Sam needs you. Well, he has Edwin in the Pacific.
Remember the Bible. Oh, God only gives us children for a short time. He loans them to us.
Oh, sure. You must quote the Bible.
Oh, well, what else is there in the time of tragedy but God?
That's your faith.
It should be yours this time around.
But I have given 2 sons to the Navy and the war. That's more than others.
Edwin is safe. Bobby sacrificed. You should remember the good times with Bobby.
Yeah, at the Jersey shore.
I am not surprised that Bobby jumped overboard. He was always taking chances. He was always swimming out beyond the rocks.
The further, the better.
Gracious, he caused our mother near a heart attack many times. Such a mischievous lad. One only knows why he didn't drown a number of times before.
But, sis, he might be dead.
Yes, drowned to save another man's son. A father's son. Remember his sacrifice. Didn't Jesus say to lay down your life for another?
You're so cold. You weren't like this when Pop died.
Oh, I was young then. Our mother had 5 kids to raise by herself. As I watched her struggle and yet survive, I learned through the years that it's no use fighting God. You never win. So I accepted his will, and so must you.
I cannot. And I don't want to go on. This war?
Oh, you must. You must face life. Don't let it hit you in the face. Never give up hope. Bobby may still be found. He was a strong swimmer.
You're right. He still may be found. I had him dead.
We've had our troubles, but God got us through them, just as he'll get us through this. Maybe they'll find Bobby. Maybe God wanted him, but that boy did good. He sacrificed for another. Oh, stop this drinking. Why, it's barely after breakfast. Go to your wife. Bobby's mother needs you. She needs comforting. She needs you.
Sis, you always did know how to handle a situation. You always know best, just like Mom.
Of course. That's what big sisters are for.
Sunday dinner at Ethel and Bert's. I sat at the table with 9 of my great-grands. 1 will soon be a grown lady, and 2 soon grown men. 6 are still children, of all I am quite proud. Everyone was quite happy, so we made quite a crowd. When counting all my children, 5 there should be, the same of grandchildren as you can plainly see, and all the husbands and wives making 20. At another table with food there to spare, 2 turkeys gave up their lives to feed the many there, with mashed potatoes, succotash, and coleslaw on the lead, cranberry sauce and candied sweets, and iced tea to please. tomatoes piled up on a dish. Everyone ate to replete, and then to my surprise, cake and ice cream filled up a space no one had denied. Pat made a lovely cake, and Ethel did the same. Bess came along with a coconut one, and none of it was left. I don't know who decided which one tasted best. September 2nd, 1961, to Ethel and Bert. This is your wedding anniversary and the start of your retirement too. Now that you are in a patch of clover, don't bite off more than you can chew. Just take your time and walk real slow and write down what you see. Remember, life is what you make it, and quite happy it can be. So let the sun shine every day. Be happy and be glad. May the coming days be the very best of all the days you have had.
Scene 8, Return. Back in Bloomfield, 1962, the women return with groceries, shopping bags, and so on.
See how soundly Mom is sleeping?
Gosh, I wish I could sleep like that.
I could if Harold didn't snore so much.
Well, I suppose the boys did check on her.
Of course they did.
Good they didn't disturb her.
Not before the party.
Do you think she's going to be surprised?
Come on, let's put these in the kitchen and prepare the meal before the others arrive.
Gracious, they'll all be here before we know it.
Day's end. Bertie, I am tired and sleepy. I care not now to hear you sing. You sang your happy song all day. Now put your head beneath your wing. Come, darling, and kiss me goodnight, for my evening prayer is said. I care not now to hear you sing. Come, put me in my little bed. Golden Maple. As I look out of my window and see the leaves come falling down, and view the golden glow they show laying on the ground, I think how very green they were all the summer through, with shadows on the sidewalks, leaves fluttering in the breeze. I think how very wonderful God made the lovely trees. They shelter birds and people on the hottest summer days, and making cool places for the children out to play. We thank our Heavenly Father for all his loving care. Let these thoughts be with you every day and everywhere.
Scene 9, Birthday. Bloomfield home. The entire family gathers with birthday cake, presents, and so on. All crowd around Mattie and sing the birthday song. She does not respond.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
to
you.
Happy birthday, dear Mom.
Happy
birthday
to
you.
Mom? Mom? Mom?
Just thinking. If nobody smiled, and nobody cared, and nobody helped us along, if every moment looked after itself, and good things always went to the strong, if nobody thought a little about you, and nobody cared about me, and we stood all alone the battle of life, what a dreary old world this would be. Life is sweet just because of the friends we have made and the things which in common we share. We want to live on not because of ourselves, but because of the people who care. It is doing and giving for somebody else on which life's splendors depend. And the joy of this world, when you have summed it all up, is found in the making of friends. What God hath promised. God hath not promised sun without rain, joy without sorrow, peace without pain. But God hath promised strength for the day, rest for the labor, light for the way, grace for the trials, help from above, unfailing sympathy, undying love.
Mattie Elizabeth Hammond, 1872, 1962. Curtain call. I'm Bert Clark, your narrator.
I'm Deb Holland. I played the role of Mattie, the poet.
My name is Kristen Adams, and I played the role of Pat.
My name is Kay Yockey as Ethel.
I'm Nancy Funk as Betty.
I'm Dina Clevenger as Winifred.
I'm Charlene Saman as Thelma.
My name is Kendra Walgast. I play woman number 2.
I'm Peter Dindal, and I played Harold.
Hi, I'm Garrett Austin, and I played Leonard.
My name is Mark Holland, and I played Leroy.
I'm John Burr, and I played Pastor Seacrest.
I'm Tom Reinsberger, and I played Bert.
I'm Paul Burt, and I played Walt.
I'm Joe Thompson, and I played Glenn.
I'm Sean Albright, and I played young Bert.
I'd like to include an epilogue. I'm Nancy Funk. I wrote this play, which was supposed to have been performed by Trinity players and students from my acting class at Penn State Mont Alto on April 24 and 26th. Of course, due to the circumstances, we have no performance, but I would like to thank all people, the listening audience, and my colleagues, staff and faculty members at Penn State Mont Alto, as well as Trinity players of Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, for agreeing to read this play as an inspiration of hope and encouragement in this time of trial and whatever is in the future. I tried to make the characters based on what the great-grandson Bert Clark gave me as full of life as I thought they might be. The incidents are correct and the times, and yes, she did have 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls, and I tried to give them personalities that I thought they might be responsive to the various situations as individuals. I hope I have not upset any of Mattie's relatives with this portrayal. Again, I want to thank all the listening audience and the participants, and this is the end of the recording.